Welcome back, and we're continuing talking cricket. India, they humbled world champions New Zealand by 372 runs in the second and final test, which ended on Monday in Mumbai. The victory secured a 1-0 series win for the home side. New Zealand, who were chasing a mammoth 540 for victory, was skittled out for 167 on day 4 of the contest. While well off the mark, that score was still significantly better than their first innings' 62. Ravi Ashwin was India's chief destroyer in both innings with 4 for 8 and 4 for 34. India were led in both their innings by Mayank Agarwal, who made scores of 150 and 60. He was named a player of the match, while Ashwin secured the player of the series honour for his 14 scalps and 70 runs. However, the most impressive and historically significant performance came from New Zealand left-arm spinner Ajaz Patel. Patel achieved the rare feat of taking all 10 wickets in an innings, completing the milestone in India's first innings. Here's Ricardo Chambers with more on Ajaz Patel.
33-year-old Ajaz Patel becoming the third player to take all 10 wickets in a test innings, reaching the milestone with the dismissal of India's Mohammad Siraj on day 2 of the second test in Mumbai.
What a pleasure, what a privilege to be here to see this very, very rare achievement.
To be honest, it's pretty surreal. I don't think you ever believe that you're going to, achieve something like that. So to be able to do it in my career, it's pretty special.
England's Jim Laker in 1956 and India's Anil Kumble in 1999 are the only other bowlers to capture all 10 wickets in a test innings. Patel was born in Mumbai, but at 8 years old he emigrated to New Zealand with his family. This was his 11th test. He made his debut in 2018 against Pakistan, and before this series had taken 2 5-wicket hauls. But this was to be his finest moment.
What a delivery!
And to top it off, it was in the city of his birth. He started by capturing 4 wickets on the opening day. Those included a patch of 3 in 9 balls. Star batsmen Cheteshwar Pujara and Virat Kohli included. But even with all 4 wickets on day 1, the thought of 10 seemed some way off. But that quickly changed when he captured 2 wickets in his first over on day 2. Patel going on to 10 for 119, and what makes this feat even more special is that he did it on the first 2 days of the test, as Anil Kumble pointed out in a congratulatory tweet.
All right, so Lance and George, it's not very often that we see a player pick up all the wickets in an innings. We had this brilliant feat achieved by Patel. What did you make of that? I mean, Lance, you've been doing commentary analyst on cricket for some time.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Well, only the 3rd time in history this has ever happened, and it's surreal,
yeah. as
you would have heard him say. Almost a once-in-a-lifetime kind of achievement, certainly for a player. And to know that he achieved it in his native, where he was actually born, he couldn't have predicted this. This is like, an unforgettable moment for him.
And so historical, George.
The thing about the numbers is this. I remember when I was in high school when Anil Kumble achieved that alt, and I remember there was a fantastic spread about the accomplishment in the Gleaner newspaper. And of course, before that I had read about Jim Laker. And then when you look at the gap, 44 years from Jim Laker to Anil Kumble, it is, if you think about it, it's sometimes difficult to reconcile that this doesn't happen more often in Test cricket. Because how many times you hear a fast bowler especially taking 7, or a spinner bagging 8, or somebody, 7 and 8 usually are the high water marks. You rarely hear a 9 for in an innings.
Yeah.
But you really think that, wait, it takes only 3 times in the glorious and long history of Test cricket has a bowler taken all 10. You find that amazing to consider, especially when you look at the role of the lowest scores in Test cricket and you see how many double-digit scores you are seeing there. And you say, well, it's not one bowler who ransacked the batting lineup. It is, 2 or 3. So it is a rare accomplishment. I think it's one of the great achievements in professional sport because it is so so difficult in an area where there is so much activity. If Test cricket was something that was rarely played across the decades, you could say, well, all right, the likelihood of it happening is a long shot. But so much Test cricket is played, and so much Test cricket has been played over time. It really boggles the mind that this is only the third time since 1956 that somebody's doing this.
And I think what is even sweeter is the opponent. They were playing against it's not like if they were playing against a basic team, a team that struggles or anything. It's actually the top team.
What I'd say to that is this. I think the result of the game, well, not I think, it's bigger than what I think. I think it is a fact that the result today is anomalous. I don't think that India is 372 runs better than New Zealand after 4 days in Test cricket. The recent World Test Championship proved that. So it's one of those things. But it's a mark of how powerful this India team is, and still smarting from what happened at Lord's when the World Test Championship final. Of course, rain had a part to play and everything else, and the New Zealanders won. But I think the Indians are said to themselves, amongst themselves, that boys, we are the real Test champions. Those Kiwis, they got away. The circumstances were in their favour at Lord's for the Test Championship. We have a chance to set it right in this series. So the first test was a draw. We have to go all out, and they just caught them. And the circumstances on this occasion were in the favour of the Indians. Last thing, it's a measure though of how powerful this India team is. You can afford to relegate one of the great individual performances in Test history to a footnote because of how well you won the game. You win by 372 runs in a match where one bowler bowled out all of your team by himself.
The headline.
And it's just a footnote.
And just remember, India didn't have all their top players there. This was us.
New Zealand were without Ken Williams, their captain as well. So their best batsman wasn't there, but I don't think that would have made a difference, quite frankly. I've said before that this Indian team, or the Indian factory of producing cricketers at the moment, reminds me a lot of the West Indies in the 70s and 80s. The West Indies, without question, more dominant during that period, so there's not a comparison from that standpoint. But how prolific they are with producing world-class players is mind-boggling. India right now can pick a second 11 team and compete with a lot of the top teams in the world, in my opinion. And you know what? With that 10-wicket effort too, it's significant that all three performances have been achieved by spinners. Jim Laker was an off-spinner, Anil Kumble was a leg spinner, and Patel is a left-arm spinner. And I guess sometimes when spin gets on top of you as a batsman, it becomes a very nervy period for you, because you contending with an informed spinner is a very taxing period for even good batsmen. We've seen the West Indies struggle against good spinners for decades now. And if you don't move your feet well enough, if you're not confident enough, spinners will get the better of you. And I think it is instructive that all three 10-wicket efforts in the history of Test cricket had been achieved by spin bowlers.
Every time Lance uses the example, and I take the point you're saying about how good West Indies cricket was, and you remember it so vividly. Sometimes I wish, I had the opportunity to experience that, because I could imagine, I'm a proud West Indian supporter, and all I've known is losing. So imagine if I was able to watch them win.
It was special, though. It was special. The West Indies successful teams of the 70s and 80s have been repeatedly rated as the best by many people, as the best sports team in the history of sport, because of how all-conquering they were.
You extended the point I was making about how it boggles the mind that this has only happened 3 times. I'm looking at Muttiah Lithuanian's record. The number of times this man has taken 8 in an innings in Test cricket. Too many to count. 8. But not 10. And you know that he has the entire batting lineup petrified. He has them in a web. And he's never had...
Karishma, when she was playing, I just remember she had taken 8 wickets. It was with Trinidad team, but I can't remember who was the opponent, which is why I didn't want to bring it up, because I know you all will ask me who. But I remember that day. Well, we have to go to break now.
I'm distracted here because Everton just beat Arsenal in the Premier League.
We'll talk about that in the Premier League.
No, I want to say it now to my Arsenal-loving friends. Hi, Tennyson. Good afternoon. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Cheers.
All right. Well, what would you say is your favourite sporting moment of 2021 so far? Well, there are so many great ones. You may need some time to think about it. While you think, let us help you. For the next 21 days, we will be releasing one moment from the year 2021, and then on December 27, you can join us for a Zone special where we look back at many of those with our analysts. You can be part of the discussion by sending us a voice note, reminiscing on your favorite moments in 2021. We start today with a moment from the Tokyo Olympics. Here's Lance Whitaker.
Pretty steady break. Sampa gets up very, very well and goes off. Farholm is running powerfully down the backstretch. Benjamin goes in chase of him. McMaster, third from right of your screen, also with them. Farholm, though, is trying to exert his world-class dominance on this field. The world record holder is in front. Benjamin has work to do. Farholm is in front. McMaster trying to get into the medals. Farholm is in front. Here comes Benjamin now to challenge him. The Norwegian under some pressure. Let's see how he'll respond. Farholm in front. Benjamin coming forward. Farholm ahead of Benjamin. Farholm, the world record holder, stands firm and wins impressively. Oh my God! 45.94! What a world record! This is almost unbelievable.
At the penultimate barrier, you thought that Rai Benjamin was going to get the better of him. Look at how he takes that final hurdle and powers off it and goes away to